I don't think it's any secret that I'm not a fan of the Indiana Fever backroom staff. I'm not a fan of what they're trying to do to Caitlin Clark, and I fully believe they're trying to dim the flame of Caitlin, and they're trying to make her fit in to what the WNBA used to be, rather than fit out and be her.
Caitlin Clark was celebrating. She had just drilled a deep three. The crowd was on its feet. The Fever were up by 20. And then, out of nowhere, her own coach physically grabbed her mid-celebration.
This is how you treat your prized possession? This is how you treat your cash cow? This is how you treat your savior? This is how you treat the young woman responsible for elevating this unbelievably rancid turd?
It happened on live television, and the footage, it's now everywhere. Because this wasn't just an awkward moment, it was a moment that exposed everything wrong with how the Fever are treating the face of the league.
This clip is going super viral. This clip of one of the assistant coaches chasing Caitlin Clark down as she's riling up the crowd. And it seems like she's getting scolded, reprimanded, told, hey, all that hyping up, don't do that. Don't do that. Let's take a look here first. Now here we go. Body language doctor. Body language doctor is out and about. Caitlin Clark's like, what the hell is this? You know, I was just hyping up the crowd. What you coming up on me for? I was just going like this. Why are you pulling up on me? I'm just hyping up the crowd. You know, the crowd that's been dead because I haven't been on my game, and now I'm back on my game, and I'm hyping them up, and we're getting them into it, and it puts the opposing team on their back heel. You know, you guys aren't used to that. Oh, my bad. And what's coach doing? Caitlin, don't do that, Caitlin. What, you're gonna get a technical for hyping up the crowd during a dead ball? Please, I would love to see that.
Let's rewind. Clark hits a huge shot. The crowd goes crazy. She turns toward them, arms out, soaking it in. This is her moment, the kind she's been delivering since Iowa. And just when she leans into the celebration, assistant coach Karima Christmas Kelly rushes in, grabs her arm, and physically pulls her back.
We've all said this. So Caitlin Clark has been knocked on her ass. She's been knocked on her ass. She's been cheap-shotted. She's been poked in the eye. Everything. They have beat the Connecticut Sun. This is a month ago nearly. The Connecticut Sun beat the crap out of her. Caitlin Clark then goes and hits a step-back three on JC Sheldon. And she goes, the whole crowd's going nuts. And she comes, so it's not like it's a close game. They're up 20. She does not see the floor again. Caitlin Clark is there hyping up the crowd. She's there trying to hype up the crowd. Exactly what you want. Exactly what you want. You want to see this version of Caitlin. You want to see this player. And watch what happens here. So the coach just grabs her. Just grabs her out of nowhere. And I'm like, I don't think there's anything too malicious in that. I don't know if there's anything too malicious. We don't know what's said. But like, you can't just grab a player.
No warning, no words, just a jarring, visible yank, like Clark broke some invisible rule. Clark doesn't lash out. She just turns around, stunned. Her face says it all. What just happened? And when the clip hit social media, fans erupted. The backlash was instant and loud.
I would love to see Caitlin Clark get a technical for hyping up the crowd during a dead ball. Not slapping the stanchion during a dead ball. Not talking to referees during a dead ball, not showing up the opposing team during a dead ball, but hyping up the crowd, her home crowd, during a dead ball. Is this a coach saying, hey, Caitlin, this could be a case of you getting a technical, which even me saying that out loud is weird.
This is unacceptable. Would this ever happen to a male player? Why is the Fever trying so hard to control her?
Well, Casey, why are you acting so surprised? We've always known that the WNBA doesn't know how to treat their stars properly. I'm not talking about the WNBA and the egregious way they treat the Great White Hope. Not only does this dump not know how to create stars. The disrespect, the outright defiance. It is coming from the president of the Indiana Felines, which means this is coming from Caitlin Clark's own team.
And honestly, they're right to ask, because this wasn't an isolated incident. It's part of a pattern, one that's been building all season. Clark gets benched while heating up. She gets iced out by teammates who act like passing is a favor. She takes hard fouls with no whistle. And now, she's being physically stopped from celebrating her own success.
That is transpiring with the Indiana Fever, but I said this yesterday, there is definitely something going on within the locker room, the front office. Something is off, man. This is the third situation in one game we have had involving Caitlin Clark and the coaching staff and pretty much another player. We had the Natasha Howard situation where Caitlin Clark bent down to tie her shoe up because she knew Natasha Howard wasn't even going to pass her the damn ball.
That's not discipline, that's control. Let's talk big picture. Caitlin Clark isn't just a rookie. She's the most impactful player the league has ever seen. Before she arrived, the Indiana Fever were valued at $90 million. Today, $340 million.
Surpassed everybody in the amount of time that she has played in the WNBA. She fills up every arena in every town that she goes to. Teams have to go to bigger arenas so that they can try to profit off the Caitlin Clark train coming to town. Is from Iowa. Then she gets drafted to the Fever, and what she has done for this city and for this team is unbelievable. Obviously, last year at the beginning of the season, nobody wanted to believe. Okay?
They still don't.
There's a lot of people that still think there's a lot of other. She is the one. Okay, and it pisses off everybody whenever we say it, and then obviously it becomes a whole thing because we're a bunch of doofuses and things like that. But like, this is the golden goose. This is the one. This is the generational, multi-generational player, and we're incredibly lucky that she's in Indianapolis.
Merchandise sales are up 234%. Every arena she plays in is sold out, and somehow her own franchise is treating her like a liability, not a star. Not a leader, not the reason they're even relevant. A liability. You'd think a team like the Fever would be building statues of her. Instead, they're handing her rulebooks, pulling her out of big moments, and grabbing her mid-celebration like she's a rookie who got too excited during warm-ups.
This is not a franchise that people are emotionally tied to. Before Caitlin Clark, this turd was lucky to draw 2,000 people a game. So I'm struggling to understand why you would butcher your cash cow. I'm struggling to understand why the Indiana Felines think they are the star. They are the draw.
Fans are starting to notice something that's been hard to say out loud. The Fever didn't just stumble into generational talent, they're actively wasting it. That grab, it wasn't just physical, it was symbolic. It showed us exactly what Caitlin's been facing all season.
And I'm telling you right now, that whole situation is crazy in itself. Ever since DeWanna Bonner been gone, they have simply turned this thing into the Natasha Howard team, bro. I mean, they're building whole schemes around her, using her as if she's the star of the team. Now, I said this yesterday. I'm all for the veteran players. But at the end of the day, did we all forget that this is Caitlin's team? Like, did y'all just throw that whole situation out the window? #1 draft pick, rookie of the year, breaking all the damn records like they're scratch-offs?
You want to know why she doesn't smile like she used to? Why the fire seems a little dimmer? Because every time she shows joy, someone tries to shut it down. They don't want Caitlin Clark the phenomenon. They want Caitlin Clark the good teammate. Quiet, controlled, conforming. But that's not who she is. And frankly, it's not who they drafted. This isn't about ego, it's about energy. Caitlin Clark was brought in to lead a cultural shift, to bring excitement, to bring fans, to make the WNBA fun again. And when she hypes up a crowd, she's doing exactly what the league needs her to do. But the Fever, they look like they'd rather she celebrate quietly in a back room with a clipboard. Let's be real, if any male assistant coach grabbed a player like that, it would be an instant suspension. There'd be statements, there'd be accountability. But with Clark, silence. And fans are sick of it. This is no longer just about a grab. This is about everything behind that grab. The micromanagement, the tension, the resistance to what Caitlin Clark represents. She's not playing identity politics. She's not dividing people. She's just hooping. And that alone is threatening to people who want to keep the league exactly the way it's been. The WNBA has never had someone like her, not just in talent, in draw, in dollars, in impact. And if the Fever keeps trying to tame that, they're going to lose her. Not just metaphorically, literally, because sooner or later Clark is going to look around and ask herself, why stay? And if she leaves, she won't just take her talent. She'll take the spotlight, the ratings, and the fans who came to watch her. So let's call this what it is. The Fever aren't just mismanaging a star. They're running a masterclass in how to lose a superstar in record time. That coach grab, it was the clearest sign yet. If you think it crossed the line, hit like. If you're tired of watching Clark get disrespected, leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe, because this isn't over. Not even close.
And greetings from Cambridge Fieldhouse.
Crowd jammed outside.
Paige Beckers and the Dallas Wings take on Caitlin Clark and the Fever as the two friends face each other for the first time in WNBA action.
Caitlin Clark didn't just silence her critics. She humiliated Paige Beckers on national television while shattering 4 WNBA records in one historic blowout.
Finds Lexi in the corner, extra Caitlin deep one, left wing from downtown and her town. 3-2 Fever.
The rivalry we've waited 5 years for, it finally happened. And it was brutal.
Off of our live watch party for the Indiana Fever versus Dallas Wings game, where the Indiana Fever beat the Dallas Wings 102-83. This was a highly anticipated game because it was going to be the first time that Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers would be going up against one another in the WNBA.
But what Paige did after the game shocked everyone even more, because this rivalry just went from competitive to deeply personal.
On her home floor. Here's Clark off the give and go, extra feed, and the lay from Howard.
It all started in high school. 2 teenage basketball prodigies, Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers, rising through the ranks as future faces of the sport. Different styles, different personalities, and totally different paths. Clark chose Iowa, determined to build her own legacy.
One of the things that Lisa Bluder's worked on all season is getting Clark off the ball more. Here's Clark driving and laying, and Caitlin Clark has the first point.
Beckers went to UConn, joining a dynasty under Gino Auriemma.
Turnover from Iowa. Beckers connects.
For years, their matchups were legendary, but let's be clear, Clark dominated. She won 2 of their 3 college meetings, including a 41-point masterpiece in March Madness that ended UConn's season.
Clark to inbound, Iowa by 2, 0.8 to go, and that will do it! Iowa survives Connecticut and heads back to the national championship game.
Still, critics clung to Paige's polish. Even Gino Auriemma publicly doubted whether Clark's wild style would translate to the WNBA. Fast forward to now. The first time Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers face off as professionals. This wasn't just another game. This was a war of philosophies, reputations, and pride.
Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark have finally faced off in the pros, so of course the better than, worse than debate has started. First of all, this is such a funny thing to constantly do, but it is sports. It is something where people are constantly being compared to one another. I do sort of feel like this is a little overblown, but there are differences to their game, there are similarities to their game, and I want to first state that I am not a Paige Beckers hater. I think she's a great player, but it's like comparing a scalpel to a firework. However, there are going to be different impacts that each player has on their team.
Clark had everything to prove. Beckers had everything to protect. And the Fever, they'd been inconsistent. One good game, then a disaster. Coach Stephanie White preferred a slower, structured half-court offense. But Clark, she wanted chaos. She wanted to push the pace, fire full-court passes, and stretch the floor.
Tic-tac-toe!
Clark the flick ahead. Oh, beautifully done! Touchdown Fever!
Knocked around an AB screen to the right elbow. Bounce pass, AB at the foul line. Fires.
So the question going into this showdown was simple. Would Stephanie White finally let Clark play her game? Or would she hold the reins tight and risk letting this moment slip away?
Listen, man, this Caitlin Clark versus Stephanie White thing could turn ugly, and it could turn ugly fast, y'all. I have to be straight up with y'all. Stephanie White wants to play the polar opposite way that Caitlin Clark wants to play. The Indiana Fever got a big win yesterday, and it was a tale of two halves. The first half, the Indiana Fever played that Stephanie White style, that grinded out, ugly, puke basketball in the first half. The second half, Caitlin Clark, even though she was making shots, went full throttle, pedal to the metal, and was running. She was just flat out running, pushing the tempo. And what did? We go put up almost 100 points. We go score 99. And I'm hearing about this altercation in the tunnel or around halftime. And if it happened, I'm glad it happened. And it needs to continue to happen. And Caitlin Clark needs to continue to put her foot on their neck because this is her team.
Then came the shocker. Stephanie White handed Clark the keys. And what happened next was historic. Clark opened up the floor like never before. She controlled the pace, directed the offense, and made the Wings look lost in transition.
She actually brought up stats from a shooting slump Steph Curry went through. She said that made her feel a lot better. That pass will as well, right on the money to Mitchell. Still turning the corner, dishing to Hull, extra feed Clark, a deep three. You bet!
In the second quarter alone, the Fever exploded for 36 points, outscoring Dallas by 21. It was beautiful basketball. Clark's vision created constant mismatches. Her teammates came alive. Kelsey Mitchell dropped 20 points. Natasha Howard ran wild in the paint. And Aaliyah Boston, she became a force, converting every pass Clark fed her. By halftime, the Fever had scored a franchise record 64 points.
Here comes Indiana. Clark back in. Off to Hull. Catch. Fire. You bet.
A historic first half for the Fever. Indiana puts up 64 points.
The ball movement was surgical. Clark had already racked up double-digit assists. And she wasn't even forcing her shot. But this wasn't just about offense. Clark brought intensity on defense too, picking off passes, anticipating moves, and creating chaos.
Page has it, bounce pass, cookies in the Cookie Monster shoes. Caitlin lays it in left side.
When she notched her 5th steal, she became the only player in WNBA history to post 14 points, 13 assists, and 5 steals in a game for the second time in her career. No one else has ever done that. Not once. It was dominance. It was leadership. It was a masterclass. And Paige, she played well. Don't get it twisted. 21 points. Efficient shooting.
She was talking with their player development coach yesterday as Beckers buries the jumper. Kaisazura keeps it alive. Here's Beckers, a deep one. Is good! Paige Beckers from Caitlin Clark land.
But her impact was quiet, drowned out by the roar of Clark's control over every inch of the floor. And then came the post-game press conference. That's when things got icy. Paige was asked what went wrong in the second quarter. Her response? Blunt. Mostly just transition defense and us not getting back. They got easy offense.
Paige, the second quarter was a tough one. Just what were some of the things that you saw that led to the Fever having such a significant margin?
Mostly just transition defense and us not getting back. Maybe crashing too many or just not having 2 people back, rushing up to the ball instead of getting back. And then just on missed shots and on turnovers, they just got out and got easy offense.
She didn't name names, but she didn't hold back either. She called out her own team's effort, and by extension gave Clark full credit without saying her name. When asked what it was like going head-to-head with Caitlin, she kept it cold. Yeah, it's fun. We're 2 competitors who want to win. Great environment, sellout crowd.
Paige, I know you've been asked a lot about it, but now that you finally have played a game against Caitlin in the W, just what was it like? What was the atmosphere like today going head-to-head with her?
Yeah, it's fun. Anytime we can compete against each other. we're two competitors who just want to win and who have grown up to be playing against each other, playing with each other. So it's great, and the environment's great here. I feel like every game is a sellout, and so they have a great home court advantage. So overall, yeah, great environment.
Not exactly warm praise. No, she played great. No, she dominated. Just flat professionalism. Paige wasn't smiling. She wasn't joking. She wasn't trying to hide how much this loss stung. And when reporters asked about turnovers, especially the ones Clark picked off, Paige said, "She's smart. She'll deny passing lanes and make catches difficult."
Paige, it felt like the first meeting against Fever, they were trapping you a lot. Today, you were still able to be efficient and get your points. How do you feel like they kind of guard you maybe differently this time compared to the first game?
I feel a lot in the same. I still feel like I could have taken care of the ball better. But two, just making the right read out of the trap, out of them setting a double and then playing to that advantage. So more to do.
It was respect, but without any warmth. This wasn't a rivalry built on friendship. This was the moment Paige Beckers quietly declared, "I'm not here to clap for Caitlin Clark." And that's when fans knew this wasn't just hype. This is war. Let's be real. Caitlin Clark didn't just beat Paige Beckers, she exposed the gap. While Paige hit some smooth mid-range jumpers, Clark was controlling tempo, leading fast breaks, initiating ball movement, and disrupting passing lanes. She didn't just score, she elevated everyone around her. She made the Dallas Wings and their stars look completely overmatched. Paige Beckers, she was a bucket, but Caitlin Clark was the system. And that's what made this game more than a win. It was a statement, a philosophical victory, a strategic triumph, and a slap in the face to everyone who said Clark's style wouldn't work in the WNBA. This was the Fever fully embracing Clark basketball, fast, flowing, and relentless, and unleashing the version of themselves fans had been begging for. Coach White changed her system, and in doing so, she unlocked a monster. But Paige's reaction tells us this story is far from over. Her chilly tone, her refusal to play the media's praise game, that wasn't bitterness. That was a warning. This rivalry isn't settled, it's just getting started. The next time these two meet, the stakes will be even higher. And make no mistake, Paige Beckers will be coming for revenge. But after this performance, she'll have to come a lot harder because Caitlin Clark didn't just dominate a game, she redefined one. So, where do you stand? Is this the beginning of the greatest rivalry the WNBA has ever seen? And can Paige ever catch up? Let us know in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for more wild moments like this one. Team CC or Team Paige, choose your side.